tweet. This should have been before the other one. Okay, our client sprung a surprise on their audience, and it was a stunner. The Master of Scale Summit brought out Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, to talk about mental health. Okay, so that was the subject. Okay, mental health via his Chief Impact Officer role with their partner Better Up. All right, bravo, Harry. Pleasant surprise. Well done, Harry. There's a thumbs up, clapping, heart, good King Harry. All right, so all of this. Let's move to the next one. So he went there to talk about mental health. That I know this is something he really know a lot about because with Better Up, things that he done in the UK and stuff like that, where he speak to professionals. These are the things the sister-in-law could have learned from Harry. Do your homework, ask the right question, and then help them.
But as I said, what we're trying to do is use our platform to be able to bring people together to affect change. What we do have is a unique ability to be able to put our name.
It's your character that matters most. It's your character.
To put our name and everything that comes with to a really good purpose, to a really good cause.
But this, I don't know. Let me leave Hyena alone. Okay, next tweet. They hate the fact that Meghan Markle was winning from a young age. Okay, 11 seconds.
Listening to that clip from Meghan there, do you think that she was making those comments just to let us know that she was an intern once upon a time?
Well, I didn't know that she was an intern at the US Embassy in Argentina.
But you do now.
Buenos Aires.
What did you study at college?
I double majored theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the US Embassy for a bit. And
where?
In Argentina, in Buenos Aires.
That's sensational. You speak Spanish?
I do now. But
she was making those comments just to let us know that she was an intern once upon a time.
Well, I didn't know that she was an intern at the US Embassy in Argentina.
But you do now.
I do now. But
Do now.
Buenos Aires.
Listening to that clip from Meghan there, do you think
the way he said "you do now" this it remind me of something Meghan had said when she was telling them that host about her education also.
I do now. But
Well, she's been telling you guys none of you were willing to listen to her. Instead, you create that false narrative about her and then you run with it. So it's at some point when the UK citizens get themselves out of that cloud that they are in, they need to blame these people for clouding their mind because they had a really decent person who was there to help them, but you guys chased them out.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
All right. Harry was looking out in general for the public to help him with the charity work, but no, you guys chased him out. All right. And we know who also behind it. All right. What they thought Meghan was jobless, like Kate before entering the royal family. Okay. That's why Her Majesty the Queen quickly threw Meg into full royal duties. She knew Meghan was a bright, experienced girl with good PR knowledge. And this is what I was saying. I think the Queen, all right, was trying to connect the next generation with her old son who's about to take the throne, but no, everybody else goes on the hate thing. So they look at what's happening in the UK right now. Okay, self-destruction. The Queen stayed quiet and did what she had to do when she could have easily said other things to help back up, but I think they keep some information away from her though. All right, the British media has pushed this caricature of her for so long. Now she has the platform and the freedom to tell her own story, and they're mad. It's known that Meghan worked at the U.S. Embassy in Argentina. Yep, it's been known that she speaks fluent Spanish and that she had met world leaders before Harry. Nope, none of them want to hear it.
In that moment, your public people, stop your squealing about privacy. We don't want to hear it.
They didn't want to hear that. They want to create their own false narrative, and then they expect Meghan to take it. And Meghan was like, no, I'm not about that. And it's the same thing that Meghan was talking about in her podcast. All right. She went there for one thing. Okay. And then when she got there, it's something else. Then she moved on. The same thing we could say about the UK. She married Harry, and then she was aware of the assignment.
I know the fact that she'll be really unbelievably good at the job part of it as well. is obviously a huge relief to me, because she'll be able to deal with everything else that comes with it. But
And Meghan, given your acting and the profile you had, you'd already been involved in various causes, you've been an ambassador for UN Women. What about this new role? I mean, you're going to have a bigger platform, a bigger voice. What do you want to do with it?
I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth.
No, you know, we're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, you know, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
I am very excited about that, yeah.
Look at this. She did the cookbook, she did the smart work, and some other things. All right. She knew what the assignment was. But when things started to be haywire, other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
Perhaps you could just give us an idea of what the last year has been like. I guess that's a where would you start question, but give it a go.
It's hard. You know, I don't think anybody could understand that. But in all fairness, I had no idea, which probably sounds difficult to understand here. But when I first met my now husband, my friends were really happy because I was so happy. But my British friend said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life."
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
I don't know what the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under.
I would say, look, any woman especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable.
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
You add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
But it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
It's not enough to just survive something, right? Like, that's not the point of life. You've got to thrive, you've got to feel happy, and I think I really tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip.
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
I really tried, but I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging.
Other than what the assignment was, she moved on.
Never thought that this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair. Never thought that this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair.
It's the same thing. Why are they surprised? It's not a surprise at all. And then she's doing her podcast talking about what she did in the past when she was doing the Deal or No Deal. People are giving all sort of crazy comments about it, like she knew what the assignment was. Yeah, she knew. And then when she got there, she needed to move on. That's not what she wanted to fully be all about.
For the show, for example, this season, every script seemed to begin with, Rachel enters wearing a towel. And I said, nope, not doing it anymore. Not doing it. And I called the creator. I was like, it's just gratuitous. We get it. You've already seen it once. So I think at a certain point, you feel empowered enough to just say no, right? And I think it's a challenging thing to do if you don't know your worth and your value, but for women to speak up. Look, as an auditioning actress years ago, you're so hungry for work, of course you're willing to do things like that. It's a challenging thing to do if you don't know your worth and your value, but for women to speak up.
All right, let's see here. Yes, she was telling you about her life, her education, her experiences, and her accomplishment before you try to erase it. That's right. All right, look at that Bauer guy who created a book. Everything about Meghan is false. The squad were automatically were able to debunk that book. All right, she will find ways to correct your lies. Take that. Okay, they knew everything. There was no about. Okay, they knew everything. Thing there was to know about Meghan ever since Harry announced her to the world, and even before that, they even tried to bribe people to lie about her. Yep, they just chose to report trash because that's what sells to their trash viewers. Okay, and just to add to this comment, they chose to report trash to make Kate look superior when in reality, there's no competition. All they have for their favorite princess was that she worked for her family business selling bunting and purses at some point. What is it, that sailboat thing? They keep on, they try to pretend that this never happened. Okay, Richard Sticky Fingers Mandela is trying to carry the baton of hate for Piers Morgan. Imagine the country is in a hot mess, yet all these mature, pale, and still can talk about is Meghan, who is clearly happily living her life 1,000 miles away. Okay, there's a laugh, clown. Okay, it's not that they didn't know, they knew. They didn't want it to be known to outshine Kate. Yep, that's another thing too. She's right. They can't invalidate her existence because she had a full existence with recorded accomplishments before they ever entered into her atmosphere. It's what burns them. She never needed them and has shown they don't make her. She made herself. That's right. That's a very good point. They hate that she dares to tell her own story. How dare she talks about her amazing background and her work before she ever met Harry. They hate that she has an amazing resume to back up her unlike some. Unlike some. All right, let's read some more. These are some very good comments. She refuses to make herself less than. She's not some shy, empty-headed girl. She won't be bowed, and they hate it. They want to strip her of everything until she's as miserable as they are, but she won't cooperate. That's a very good point. I'm thinking of Princess Diana. She won't go quietly.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against her?
Yes, I did. Absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife of the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we back her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Okay, it's their own insecurity, in my opinion. Okay, they are angry that by telling her story, she is undermining the nasty story they have made up about her. The thing is that, okay, when you look at the video, I think I call it the firm. It has the UK flag. On top is the God, and then the firm, which consists of the crown and the sovereign, and then below that is everybody else. All right, and then if you look further deeper into anything below the queen, you see all the other things. That's where the race, skin tone, classism, and all of that come into play. All right, so Meghan was straight at the firm level. So, and Meghan exceed the firm, so and other, to bring her a couple notch down. So they had to do some of the things that they were talking about, dehumanize her, trying to dehumanize her, do all sort of those hate things on the media and all of that. So this is the thing that went over there. Meghan was above them already.
Have you ever studied law or went to college or anything swanky?
I did go to college. I went to Northwestern University.
That's the big one.
Well, thanks. My parents were happy with the choice.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know that one.
No. No.
But that doesn't mean anything. I didn't even go to college. What did you study at college?
I double majored theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit. And
where?
In Argentina. In Buenos Aires.
That's sensational. You speak Spanish?
I do now.
Speak Spanish?
I do now, but
at a certain point you feel empowered enough to just say no. Empowered enough to just say no.
I mean, how's... Can you imagine? No.
Right? And I think it's a challenging thing to do if you don't know your worth and your value, but for women to speak up.
know your worth and your value, but for women to speak up. Look, as an auditioning actress years ago, you're so hungry for work, of course you're willing to do things.
It's not enough to just survive something, right? Like, that's not the point of life. You've got to thrive, you've got to feel happy, and I think I really tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip, but I thought it would be fair.
It's just that the title that those people set for themselves, due to marriage, she become part of it, but she exceed all of them. All right, so that's one thing. Okay, it's disrupt the lies, and these losers hate that. That's right. Okay, it's interesting. They have called through every aspect of her life and talk about the most minute detail of her life almost daily, but said they didn't know she was an intern in the U.S. Embassy in Argentina.
She was making those comments just to let us know that she was an intern once upon a time.
Well, I didn't know that she was an intern at the U.S. Embassy in Argentina.
But you do now.
And then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit, and
Where?
in Argentina, in Buenos Aires.
That's sensational.
Isn't it
You
great
speak
too?
Spanish?
I do now.
How is that possible? It's how and why she speaks at Castilian Spanish. Why? Because they are only interesting in negative stories about her from the tabloid. They don't think Meghan had a peaceful and meaningful life she created for herself before meeting Harry. That's right. And then Meghan said everything in the engagement where, she's been living in the public eye, but that type of media frenzy that the UK has, she never really expected that.
Do you have that sense of responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you're asking Meghan to do?
Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realised actually this is, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me. But we still had to sit down on the sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, frank conversations with her to say, look, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's, it's not easy for anybody. But I know that, at the end of the day, she chooses me, and I choose her, and therefore.
And Meghan, your parents, do you think, while very happy for you, obviously, do you think they have worried at all about the scale of what you're getting into?
Well, I'm sure at the onset, both my parents and my close friends were concerned because we got very quickly swept up in a media storm that, as I shared, was not part of my life before that. Concerned because we got very quickly swept up in a media storm that, as I shared, was not part of my life before that.
It's nothing. She's been living her quiet life, and I have that video where I think she came from somewhere in a building, and you have all those paparazzi out there asking for autograph, and there she was there trying to autograph almost everyone that was in front of her. So she's been known to deal with the media before. She have contact through videos. Okay, at that time I was not following her, but videos that I've seen of her where she make contact with her fan, and then when she goes on an engagement, she recognize some of the fan and bring present for some exchange and stuff like that. So Meghan knew how to deal with the media already. So, but these people, my goodness, they really, this is the thing that she was like, I thought they would be fair. They were not fair at all from the get-go. So she had to leave. All right, they knew, and the female anchor seems very upset that she's been forced to acknowledge that fact instead of all the lies they've tried to pass on her. Stay mad. All right, the audacity of this ill-informed journalists. Have they done zero research into the lady they talk about 24/7 for 6 years? Anyone paying attention knew of the education, philanthropy, careers, and ultimate financial success Meghan Markle had before she ever met Prince Harry. That's the thing. And this is why, the squad keep up with these people, because they were trying to create a completely different Meghan. All right, the little island of underachievers not willing to improve themselves and angry at those who have. What did they say in World War II when the American soldiers arrived to save their sorry asses? Overpaid, oversexed, and over here. Bitter, bitter Britain. Wow, wow, wow. Let's see this. Yeah, let me not go into it. Okay, after this, I did say I was going to stop Let's see this. Like, what is the point of this exchange? Meghan was an intern at U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but she can't speak on it without being a dig at UK. Like, what? Okay, like, you know, normal people speak about their life. Okay, it's pretty funny. What a pair of losers. Okay, because the KKK never did a damn thing before she got married. All right, so there's that. Let's move on. All right, I have two more and one more after that one.